that spiral you out, that sideline you, that just slow you down, that make you anxiety, have stress, overwhelm in so many different ways. You're going to have tons of triggers in your world, but you have more crazy triggers that happen when you're dealing with a toxic relationship. Does he trigger you right now, making you feel certain things? You're like, that might not be me, but maybe it is me. Could be a trigger that spirals you out and frustrates you for the rest of the day. It could be a piece that has you step into anger and frustration and rage. It could be a piece that just has you want to step into a place of depression, has you want to not even get out of bed, simply because you're so frustrated and you're so hurt by how he's triggered you. A trigger is going to show up in so many different ways. And a trigger might be something that impacts you because there's a piece of it that you believe. Maybe he tells something about how you're a bad mom, how you are awful at parenting, how you look a certain way, how your image isn't the best way, how you have too much weight, how you look bad in certain clothes or whatever it might be. And it's going to trigger something inside of you. Sometimes it's pain, sometimes it's guilt, sometimes it's shame. Many different things happen, and everybody's trigger is completely different, and everybody has thousands of them. The trigger is going to always pull you into a place where you feel crazy, where you feel alone, where you feel lost, where you feel confused. The trigger is going to be something that spirals you out. One client that came to Raw Motivations, and before she came to Raw Motivations, she was dealing with an abusive ex that was cheating on her constantly. And one of the things that triggered her was one day she was pulling up to a stoplight, and when she pulled up to a stoplight, he pulled up right beside her. They were already separated at this point, but she knew exactly where he was going, and he looked over at her and then pulled away, going to the New Supplies house, the girl that he cheated on her with. Very triggering. It actually spiraled her out for the rest of the week. She wasn't able to focus at work. She felt like she was kind of moving through quicksand. Her mind was constantly racing, wondering what was happening. Why can't he understand? Why won't he see her? Was it her fault? All the different intrusive thoughts that were coming because of that one moment that triggered her. You see, triggers can come in any shape and size. A trigger can be music that you hear on the radio. A trigger can be driving past a place. It could be seeing a car that looks just like his. It could be seeing someone stand just like him. A tone, an influx, a phrase, millions of different ways that a trigger can impact your world. Do you have triggers right now that you see that are impacting you negatively? If you're in a toxic relationship, you have tons of them. But the question is, what do those triggers actually do to you? Do they spiral you out? Do they push you to depression? Do they leave you with high anxiety, with a hypervigilance, with an overwhelm, with a confusion? What does that trigger actually do? Like I mentioned with this one client, when he pulled up to the stoplight and then pulled away, she was triggered for the rest of the week. When I started working with her, one of the processes that we had to teach was what we call the freedom formula, which is how do you actually identify what the trigger is and what's the subconscious programming underneath? What's the story that you're telling yourself that produces that trigger and that gives it even weight? So we went through this process of the freedom formula and teaching it to her and having her use it on a daily basis. She actually had the same exact thing happen after she'd been working with Raw Motivations for about a month. She pulled up to a stoplight and her ex pulled up beside her. This time he rolled down his window and he started talking to her, trying to be able to get to her, to trigger her. And he pulled away, went to the other supplies house. She still felt the trigger, right? It was still there. It was still something fresh of like, whoa, that impacts me. But the difference is she pulled over to the side of the road, pulled out her phone, used the same process that we teach to be able to help erase and eradicate triggers. And all of a sudden, within that day, she was back up to functioning. It didn't take a whole week to get back on track. It didn't take a whole week to clear out the fog, to get her mind back right so she could focus on what truly mattered. Instead, it actually helped her move forward in confidence of who she actually was, in clarity of what was actually happening, and no longer had this trigger affect her. You see, when you have a trigger inside of your life, the only reason that it works is because there's something subconscious that you believe. For instance, right now, if I say, hey, you're an idiot because you have blue hair, and you look back at me and you're like, I don't have blue hair, so you're kind of the idiot thinking I have blue hair. That's not going to trigger you, and it's not going to affect you because you don't have blue hair. Now, inside of this, there's no belief underneath. There's no reality of having blue hair, and there's no belief underneath that you have blue hair. So therefore, it's not really going to impact you. It's not really going to hurt you. It's not going to be a lever that I can pull. But if you have an unhealthy body image, and I say, hey, it looks like you're adding on a little bit of weight, that's a belief that you already have. So therefore, it's a lever that a narcissist can pull. It's something that he can pull to trigger you, to get you to do what he wants you to do, to get you to react or respond, or to get supply from you so he knows that he's still dominant over you. You see, triggers only work when there's a subconscious belief that hasn't been processed, hasn't been let go, hasn't been released, hasn't been healed. So what we do inside of Raw Motivations is actually help you work through the triggers and have a system and a process to eradicate them. Because if we can teach you how to actually deal with the subconscious programming that the narcissist has tried to overlay, install, the virus that he's tried to put inside of your world, everything shifts. He starts to lose his power and control over you because he no longer makes you triggered. He no longer makes you react or respond the way that he wants you to. Instead, you learn how to live with clarity about the situation, with confidence about who you are, regardless of what he's saying about you, and you can make decisions with certainty. One of the biggest pieces that people come to Raw Motivations is simply because they're confused, or maybe they've plateaued inside of counseling, or they're struggling trying to figure out what's going on, what's not happening, how do I actually heal from this, how do I move from here to there, there's a gap in between that I don't know how to cross. And the goal inside of what I do is to walk people through a healing journey where we show you an active way to be able to deal with the triggers, to be able to process your emotions so it no longer controls and connects with you of making him be the person that's dictating your life. This also stems into breaking the trauma bond, developing healthy boundaries, and establishing your purpose and value of who you are. I'm not going to dive into that today. We were just talking about triggers today. We'll talk about some of the others the next day. But triggers are one of the biggest things that impact you and start the whole abusive cycle that keep you locked into him, that keep you going back, that keep you confused. And if you stay confused, he still wins. Are you triggered today? Do you have triggers in your life that you're seeing, that you're identifying? I want to show you a plan and a path to actually help with that, to break the triggers once and for all. This is why I've created the Reclaim Workshop. This is happening 1 month from today. This is going to be on July 12th, happening in Orlando, Florida, or virtually anywhere in the globe. And the goal inside of this is to be able to show you how to deal with the triggers, how to break the trauma bond, how to establish your clarity and your purpose for you. Not letting him define you anymore, not letting anyone else impact your world, but you be able to live in a place of freedom and peace. Does that resonate with you? A reality that might feel foreign right now, that might feel like you don't even know how to get there, how to see it, how to approach it. I want to show you the path that we've walked many people through to help you be free permanently from his abuse, from the mind fuckery that's happening, that's hurting your head, the intrusive thoughts, the rumination, all of that. There's a plan and there's a path, but you have to be willing to sign up and move to the next stage. If you want to know more about this, you can comment Reclaim below, or if you want to go ahead and jump straight to it, you can go to rawmotivations.com/reclaim. We'd love to help you move forward in the healing space so that we can help you no longer be triggered by a guy who's just trying to control you. Y'all have a blessed, wonderful day. We'll see y'all next time.